Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. I actually need to start this video on a slightly unexpected topic, but I think I owe you guys an apology and I can't run away from this anymore. I have to face the facts. You see, for the last couple of weeks, the UK's been in lockdown for obvious reasons, and with every day that's gone by, I've started to look more and more like a gremlin, like Poundland Wolverine with this going on, and don't get me started on any of that. I mean, it's awful. And I feel like there's nothing I can do about it. Like, if only I had a sponsor or something, I don't know, to just help me out of this mess. But I don't.
Listen here, you little
Okay, chill. Hold on. What?
Did you kiss your mother with that hairy-ass mouth?
Who the hell are you?
Okay, you can't tell from my extremely obvious outfit and hairless jawline. You know what? Never mind. I'm here to tell you, you do have a sponsor to get you out of this mess.
Fortnite?
No, loser. Dollar Shave Club. They've got all your grooming needs covered, from shaving, to skincare, oral care, and even deodorant. Look, Dollar Shave Club and their Ultimate Shave Starter Set includes an executive handle and set of blades, a 1-ounce tube of Dr. Carver's Prep Scrub, a 1-ounce tube of Dr. Carver's Shave Butter, and a 1-ounce tube of Dr. Carver's Post-Shave Dew. My favourite's gotta be the Shave Butter because it gives me a silky smooth shave every single time. So, go to dollarshaveclub.com/Milo to get yourself the Ultimate Shave Starter Set for only $5, and you can throw in any of their other high quality grooming products as well. Now, go clean yourself up, man. Razors after this are gonna ship at regular prices, so make good use of this one.
Better? Better. Okay, so there are 4 main stories we're going to be covering today. The first is that zombies can shapeshift, yes, you heard that right, shapeshift, in FIREBASE Z. The context for this actually begins with some of the people that find themselves lost within the Dark Ether. There's one person called Barbara who recounts that once she got into the Dark Ether, she felt her skin starting to change, and it was almost like she was becoming part alligator. Her teeth were growing and her nails were growing much longer as well. This whole process of transformation was maybe amplified by the fact that she then started to actually eat some of the other monsters in the Dark Ether as well. She wasn't scared of them anymore, so clearly she was undergoing a transformation. Now, it sounds like that might be the precursor to what we now see in FIREBASE Z as the kind of Margwa / new monster blends that have been roaming around and chasing the player with their big open blue mouths. That info from Barbara didn't tell us that those monsters can transform. She basically just said that she was mutating into something and she didn't feel like she could go back, but we now have confirmation that these monsters, whatever they are, can indeed transform into different objects. For example, when one of these monsters is retrieved from the Dark Ether by a miner, because remember, Omega are mining Ethereum crystals from the Dark Ether and bringing them back to the real world to do experiments on them. The monster gets imprisoned, obviously, because they want to do tests on it, and then it turns into a crate, an equipment storage container, a chair, and then a rifle. And when it transforms into a rifle in its cage, one of the soldiers from Omega, who clearly is just not paying attention, walks over, opens the cage, and of course then the rifle turns into this big bad zombie thing and escapes. Now, it's unlikely that that particular monster that escaped by becoming a rifle was Barbara, so I'm not anticipating that we're going to jump into the map and have Barbara talking to us, because the face of that particular one matched the description of a soldier that had previously gone into the Dark Ether with Omega about a month prior, called Private Glaskov. However, I'm sure there are going to be plenty of these things, and so maybe we will hear some more from Barbara at some point. The key implication of all this, though, if this zombie, monster, alligator, crocodile thing can shapeshift, is that Prop Hunt, which we know is a long-loved mode in the Call of Duty universe, is potentially going to be coming to zombies, but with a serious twist. Imagine if you had all of your props just idly lying around the map, the players controlling them, of course, but then as soon as the prop got found, instead of having to just jump away as like a tin can or a cardboard box or whatever, imagine if you could turn into one of these massive monsters and then like chase the player or something. It would be sort of the opposite of Prop Hunt, where instead of the props being hunted, the props would become the hunters. The idea is so cool to me, and I think there's so much potential here for this to be an incredible mode. Treyarch, if you're even slightly considering this idea right now based on the fact that you're introducing a shapeshifter into zombies, then please, I beg of you, run with it. It would be so amazing. The next story comes from Reddit. I saw this thread earlier and I felt like it had to be reported on. They say, have you noticed that MrRoflWaffles has a gigantic nose? And what do you think about his nose? Is it really that big? Next up, we've seen the FIREBASE Z Wonder Weapon in the trailer, and everyone's very excited about it. When I saw it, I was like, wait a second, are we actually getting some kind of weird Wunderwaffe variant crossed with a ray gun or something here? And now we've got a blueprint for it, and it is actually called, and I'm not kidding about this, a Ray K. Yes, ray gun rifles were being talked about pre-launch, and I was actually really skeptical because I'd seen some leaks saying that there was going to be some kind of ray rifle or something, but then I'd seen others saying, what are you talking about? There's no ray rifle in the Maschine, and just the fact that people were disagreeing made me really skeptical about the fact that it was even coming at all ever. But it now seems to have materialized, and so I guess those leaks were kind of right. It's just that they got the timing of it wrong, and it turns out that the ray rifle that was long foretold many moons ago is now coming, and it's even called the Ray K, just to be as on the nose as possible, I suppose, as well. The clips of it in the trailer look really interesting to me because it not only has that kind of pulse blast effect, but the zombies then also seem to kind of float upwards a little bit as well. Really curious to see how this thing works out in game. It certainly looks like it's going to have good wave clear, which is kind of essential for a wonder weapon if it's going to compete with the ray gun in this game, because the ray gun's fantastic, because the ray gun's obviously so much better than it's ever been in the past, and it just sort of dominates everything, even with the D-Maschine weapon in D-Maschine being as strong as it is. It still just can't match that ray gun. And so I'm hopeful this thing's really powerful, but the all-important question is going to be, is this thing going to just have another set of elemental upgrades exactly like we saw in D-Maschine and like we've seen so many times in zombies now? And if so, is that going to be interesting for you guys? Like, are you excited to get a base level Ray K and then to have 4 slightly different upgrade quests for it? Or would that just kind of be annoying at that point? I personally would like to see multiple wonder weapons. I think that would be absolutely incredible. I know these things are really expensive to build, and what I mean by that is that they do take a lot of time and testing and thought from the devs and lots of effort, and so I'm not saying we need 4 completely different wonder weapons every new map. Like, I'm not quite going that far, but it would be amazing to see the Ray K being one wonder weapon, and then there being an entirely separate other wonder weapon in the map that would just sort of surprise everyone and also be really kind of coveted. Like, make it so that there's some kind of push and pull between people that love the Ray K and people that love whatever other option we might get. That would be a really refreshing change, I think. Instead of having the sort of 4 elemental wombo combo, I'd like to see maybe a yin-yang kind of dark and light split in the community between who loves one wonder weapon and who loves the other. I think that kind of thing could be really cool. That actually brings me on to my next bit of news, talking of things being split, because there was a leak that came out from Nade Leaks Shiz a little bit before the FIREBASE Z trailer released, and the leak says a bunch of different tidbits, but one of the key things it mentioned is that the map is going to be split into 2 separate areas. Now, this is something that I had been hypothesizing previously based on storyline info, but not based on anything really gameplay related, or at least I don't remember anything being kind of gameplay sourced. However, this leak basically said, yes, FIREBASE Z is going to be split into 2 parts. One's going to be a kind of military tight complex with some open areas, and another's going to be more like a village. And it seems like that has been confirmed in the trailer, which means maybe other stuff in that leak can be verified now from Nade. So it's worth obviously remembering that you've got to take all of this with a big pinch of salt, but there may be some truth here. And one of the things the leak suggests from Nade is that there are not going to be 4 zombies maps in the DLC season for this game. Instead, there are going to be 6. This is something that's actually been reported elsewhere for a little while now. I saw people around the launch of this game saying that there were going to be different plans for the DLC season if the game was received well. And I think that everyone can agree that Cold War Zombies was a real hit on launch. I think that people really enjoyed it and took to it and warmed to it really fast. And so based on those original leaks and rumors back then as well, that would suggest that the idea of there being more than 4 zombies maps in this DLC season is bolstered even further. The leak from Nade goes on to speculate that the next map is going to be Kino, just like, again, those very early leaks from the start of this game all were basically predicting to be coming at some point in the DLC season. We've not known exactly when that would be because there were rumors of Kino, but then there were also rumors of Dariz. Transit itself was rumored at one point that I think must just be out the window now because I think that was just probably a mistake and Nacht was what came of that. But Kino was mentioned then and Kino is being mentioned now. Now this is interesting because one leaker is saying that it's like a mix of Kino and then there might be some Verrückt elements in there and stuff like that. Whereas another leaker is saying that there isn't Kino in it, and in fact, it's an original map. I don't know who to believe, to be honest, because there are conflicting messages flying around here, but it certainly seems like at least going to East Berlin is very likely at this point. Now, does that line up with the storyline signs that we've been seeing recently? Absolutely, 100%, because if we're rescuing Samantha, it makes perfect sense for her to probably want to take us back to Germany for some reason or another in order for us to embark on the next stage of our journey or something like that. Or if Samantha ends up disappearing into the dark ether at the end of Firebase Z, we might want to go back to East Germany in order to find out what Samantha was investigating before she disappeared. It might be that we're then going down the rabbit hole in order to try and get the answers so that we can actually save her once and for all in DLC 4 or DLC 5 or DLC 6. Now, this video is getting pretty long, so I'm going to wrap this up here, but if you want me to talk more about that leak and other details in it from Nade in the future, then absolutely, guys, let me know by dropping a like and leaving a comment down below. This isn't something that is from me or my source or anything like that. I don't want to seem like I'm taking credit here by any means. This is entirely from this Nade post that I basically got linked on Twitter. And it's been discussed on forums and stuff as well on Reddit. I'll link it down below. So, what do you think? Are you excited at the prospect of more maps in the DLC season? Do you reckon that a Kino map or even just a Germany map is something that would hype you up for a DLC 2? Or does that not sound that great? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm MrRoflWaffles. Subscribe, because Firebase Z videos are on the way, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.